I thought I'd share something that I still can't explain after all these years. I was 16 last year of high school, and my family had just moved to the outer suburbs of the city. Parents had left me alone for the night to go out, so I ordered a pizza and watched some movies. What can I say? I wasn't exactly prom king material. Anyway, after finishing off 2 large pizzas myself, like a boss, I decided to clear out the trash rather than having the living room stink of anchovies and cheese. So I went out the back door, only to have our 10-year-old husky Conan jump on me, trying to get into the pizza boxes in my hand. Whatever. Drop the boxes and he starts flicking them with his nose. "Want to come inside?" I asked him, but Conan just ignored me. It was late summer and huskies really enjoyed the nighttime weather. After a while, he got bored and walked off towards the back fence, obviously having dug a nice hole in the ground to curl up in. I picked up the empty pizza box and went through the side gate, walking out onto the curb where our trash can was. It was night, but with the streetlights, you could see where the trash cans were on the curb. Out of the corner of my eye was this hulking mass down the road. The streetlights were sparse enough that I could only see its shadow and the trash cans it knocked out onto the street. It had to be a bear. It just had to be. Then I heard this most guttural, feral growl that I had ever heard, and I just noped. There was some sort of base instinct deep in me that told me to get out of there as fast as I could, like millions of years of evolution had embedded the most basic of survival reflexes. There was a teeny part of me that wanted to see a bear in the flesh, maybe get a video of it and post it on the internet. I didn't even stop to consider it though, as I scrambled back to the side gate so fast that I was setting records. The animal though, it must have seen me. Though I looked better to eat than the trash that it was going through, because as soon as I headed towards the house, I heard this heavy stomping running down the street. I don't know what I was thinking. I probably wasn't, because I didn't even bother opening the gate. I just jumped over it. I jumped superstar right here. Not bothering to look back, I headed straight inside and called the cops. I know. What are the cops gonna do? Charge the bear for trespassing? Arrest Yogi and throw him in jail with a picnic basket? I was 16. I had never run into a bear, and I sure as shit was not going to call my parents. The phone rang as I frantically ran from one window to another, looking out for a cuddly bundle of fun that wanted to crack me open like a honeypot. But no sign of him. The phone picked up.
911, what's your emergency?
Said the voice of an unenthusiastic woman. Hi. Hello. I'm stuck inside and I think that there's a bear stalking me.
A bear, you say?
She said slightly less unenthusiastically. But that's when I got my first glimpse of it. I was looking out my front window when I saw it come into view right on my front lawn. It was big, like a bear, but then it stood up. I wasn't a 16-year-old expert on bears or anything, but I was pretty sure that they didn't stand upright on their hind legs like a person. In the dark, I couldn't get a good look at its fur, but just guessing from the silhouette it cast, it had to have been 10 feet tall. Let me tell ya, when it turned its head to look through the window right at me, I never felt the strength drain out of my body as fast as since then. I collapsed onto the ground, barely holding the phone in my hands.
Did you say a bear, kid?
Said the woman on the phone. I shook my head yes. I then came to my senses a little bit and actually said yes.
Is it just you in the house?
Yes, my mom and dad are out.
Alright. Sit tight, sweetie. We'll get someone out there right away.
After telling her my address, she hung up and I just sat there in the darkness, hoping that this nightmare would be over. I didn't know what that thing was and I didn't want to find out. Hopefully somebody else could deal with it and I could go back to this life as normal. If I just waited. Howling pierced the silence. It was Conan. I had left Conan outside. Scared, my thoughts racing in my head, I army crawled through the house, through the kitchen, and to the living room. My legs sprang me upwards and I saw, through the back door window, Conan standing at the side gate howling. I wanted to scream out, "Command the dog to shut up!" The words nearly escaped my mouth before my hands involuntarily trapped them inside. I was too scared to scream out, too scared to come out of hiding, too scared to face that creature and to save my dog. Time slowed down. Conan had been a good dog to me. All the time we played together when he was a puppy, the nights when he curled up into a ball and slept on my bed, the sandwiches he stole from the bench, the tummy rubs, the head pats, the games of fetch. All of that was about to disappear because he wouldn't stop howling. No, it was about to disappear because I was too scared. I don't think I've ever done anything as dumb in my life ever again, but I ran out to save my best friend. I almost pulled the back door off its hinges, and with eyes only focused on my dog, I charged and tackled Conan. Thankfully, his howling stopped. It was only when I turned to the gate that I found out why. It was no damn bear. I got a full view of this creature, and to this day I still don't know what it was. I don't know how I missed it, but I saw its antlers. The face was more like a deer, but it was bearing fangs like a bear. It was tall, taller than the gate. It had its claws reached over the top of the gate. Its eyes yellow. Those yellow eyes were just staring at us. I didn't stare back too long, as I picked up Conan and carried him back inside. And then I slammed the door. I heard something crash outside. I didn't look, but I just knew that that creature had broken the gate. I froze on the spot, and Conan did too. He had his ears pinned back and laid down on the floor. Those same heavy footsteps from before came to the back door, and I started to hear sniffing. Just sniffing. From the door handle and then down the bottom of the door. And then it stopped. The footsteps moved away from the door and started going alongside the house. And when it reached a window, I could see that it was now on all fours. It's prowling outside the house. And after a while, the footsteps disappeared. The police said that they took like 5 minutes, but it seemed like forever. They asked what happened, and I told them about the creature, how it stood up, how it had a deer's head, but it looked at me with its yellow eyes. They just laughed. When Mom and Dad came home, they were pissed that the gate was broken. None of them believed me that I saw that creature. And I'm telling you, I don't know what I saw that day, but it was no damn bear. There are some creatures still out there that remain undiscovered.